I encourage anyone to either look at the science on these ingredients in this product or to read the reviews. The reviews, I couldn't even imagine writing reviews if I wrote them myself that could be this passionate.
I mean, but they are passionate reviews. I mean, they really are. A lot of people feel like they're getting their lives back. I mean, because let's be honest, if, you know, I love, that's how we used to call it the nurse's product, to feel like your legs are still moving on you or tingling or cramping or whatever it might be. And Andrew, especially during this time in history, whether we're on our feet a lot or the opposite, if you're seated a lot, and many of us were less active in the last year and a half, you know, doing our Zooming and our Skyping and everything else, on either end of the spectrum, this is going to help us in terms of how our legs feel, but how they look as well, doesn't it?
Yes, we were, my mom and I were having lunch the other day, and the waitress recognized me and told me she had just gotten our Essential One, our special, today's special on Essential One at the end of last year. And she had mentioned to my mom that she was working as a cashier for a while, standing in one spot, and that was very difficult on her legs and circulation. So, of course, my mom never ceased trying to convince her to get the circulation and vein support product, which I will bring with me next time I go to the restaurant so she could try it. But it's funny. My mom is as much of an advocate for this product as I am. I love it for different reasons. I'm an athlete, and as I've gotten older, one of the things that I couldn't stop was the activity I was engaging in, whether running or biking. I'd stop, and when I'd go to bed, my legs were still active. They were as restless like I was still on my bike or still running. And circulation vein support has made a profound difference in how I recover from exercise. And I think it plays a profound role for all of us, but it's different for each person.
It is, and boy, oh boy, you will feel a difference. I mean, you just will. In addition to seeing a difference, remember, 30-day return policy. And to be a customer pick, you've got a pretty high standard of judgment on a product like that. And it definitely delivers, and delivers quickly. Take advantage of that special pricing. By the way, we've turned the page to another hour here at HSN, so if you are channel surfing, welcome. Andrew Lessman is our #1 brand as part of our Big Deals Weekend. This is one of only 2 shows that I feel fortunate and privileged to be a part of. We want you to experience the world's finest vitamins, and that's what Andrew is all about. The information he provides is just as important as the products. Stick around, though, because at the end of this hour, we're going to share a very special interview with Dr. Daniel Amen. I was actually watching his public broadcast special the other day with his lovely wife. Well, he'll be with Andrew in an interview form with a special package at the end of this hour. Remember, as part of Big Deals Weekend, everything is on 5-pay flex pay, only until 12 midnight. So we have moved along. And Andrew, we were talking a little bit about the legs, of course, with circulation and vein support. But now when it comes to, you know, our fingers, our neck, our back, our knees, if our joints are talking to us, you've got to try Andrew Lessman's glucosamine. And not all glucosamine is created alike. And Andrew, I'll defer right to you. You've certainly probably been making glucosamine longer than anybody else, but definitely in a form that nobody else does, right?
I believe just as I said with CoQ10, I wasn't aware of anyone else that had a glucosamine chondroitin product back in 1979 when I started my company. And that was our first glucosamine chondroitin, our first product delivering what are called mucopolysaccharides or glycosaminoglycans. That's when I started. And one of the interesting things is that back then, most of what I had to do was talk about how different these ingredients are and that they have to be delivered in their proper form and things like that. And over the last 40 years, that problem has only become worse. That unfortunately, most of the glucosamine products you will see in supermarkets, pharmacies, discount stores, they contain a form of glucosamine called glucosamine hydrochloride. Same first name, glucosamine, different last name, hydrochloride. The form that we use, the form that the science and the clinical research and the experts recommend is glucosamine sulfate. And because of the sulfur, that plays a role in our joint tissue, our connective tissue. And what's interesting, when I read the charts during our normal shows, I have quotes from the scientific, from the medical literature. In fact, I have quotes from a couple of medical journals that are for doctors. And specifically, it tells doctors that if they're going to recommend glucosamine as a sort of a first line of joint defense to their patients, it has to be glucosamine sulfate. It shouldn't be glucosamine hydrochloride, because only sulfate has the science and the research and the validation. Glucosamine hydrochloride does not, and it does not work.
Well, and Andrew, I'm actually opening up one of the capsules. You know, in your absence, I think we're all getting pretty good at that, by the way.
Opening capsules, yes. That's usually my job on set. I know I've lost that job. I can't wait. It's been fun being able to Skype the shows in from my house or from our facilities in Vegas and things like that, but Henderson, Nevada. But I really look forward to being back at HSN. It's sort of weird the way we've all sort of become so digitally connected and personally, I think, a little disconnected. But I look forward to being back there in person, hopefully the latter part of this year.
Well, absolutely. Fingers crossed there for sure. But one of the reasons I opened up the capsules, we keep talking about the Andrew Lessman difference, is, first of all, capsules, number one, not a rock hard tablet that your poor little tummy has to try to, work its digestive acids through. But it's in that form, and that's one of the things that sets you apart in addition to the formulation, is that this nice ultra, boy, is that one of the finest powders in any of your encapsulations?
It is, and one of the reasons it is because glucosamine chondroitin can be challenging to go into solution, not ours, because it's something, the more of a fine powder it is, the more surface area is exposed, and the more readily it goes into solution. Also, glucosamine chondroitin for some folks, especially the hydrochloride form, could be problematic could be irritating. Again, not ours. So everything we make, we have several capsule machines in my facility, probably more than a dozen encapsulation machines. We don't have a single tableting press. I will not make tablets because all a tablet does, it's an obstacle. It blocks your absorption of an ingredient. You have to break down that tablet, and you have to do it quickly enough to make those ingredients available. I think a tablet is an insult to the quality of any ingredients, and it's also an assault on your digestive system. It causes hard to swallow, causes upset stomach, so we will have nothing to do with tablets. We only offer ultra-fine powders in a capsule or a liquid in a soft gel capsule. Well,
and that's just it. Your body can't benefit if it can't liberate, those kind of life-altering, transformational ingredients. Andrew, if it's okay, I'll try to read maybe a couple of reviews or get through them, because again, here's another runaway customer pick and favorite. The missing link. This glucosamine and chondroitin product was the missing link for my legs and knees. I was already taking circulation and vein support. By the way, that's still available. But when I added glucosamine chondroitin, the two products together took away all discomfort. What a relief. I feel so grateful to Andrew Lessman for all his wonderful products. They really do a great job. That's from Mary in South Carolina. Let me see if I can at least sneak one more in here. Works. My husband has taken this for about 2 years, and he has joint discomfort. He was taking another brand, we hear this a lot, with the same ingredients. We ran out of the Andrew Lessman version, and he said, no big deal, I have some from the other brand left. About a week later, he kept complaining about how much discomfort he was in. He only takes 2 capsules a day, one in the morning, one in the evening. I ordered a bottle right away, and within days of receiving, he was feeling better. When he's experiencing more discomfort, he takes an extra capsule. That's from Crystal. Andrew, you hear that a lot, that especially with the glucosamine, yours makes that profound difference, even if somebody has tried somebody else, right?
Well, that's probably the most frequent thing we hear about this product is, and you can see it in the reviews as well, that unfortunately most glucosamine products are not made to follow the science, which is sad, kind of ironic, and also, I guess, a bit unethical, that it's the science on glucosamine that creates the interest by consumers. So when a company makes a glucosamine product, I think it's really incumbent upon them, it's their duty to make sure that that glucosamine product follows the science. Therefore, it needs to be glucosamine sulfate. What I find even more unfortunate is that when you look at pet supplements, And a lot of the original research on glucosamine was done in animal studies. They give it to racehorses and things like that. And to think that if you look at most of the pet products, they use, again, glucosamine hydrochloride, the form that doesn't have the same benefits as glucosamine sulfate, it's just unfortunate and sad.
It is. Okay, well, this is going to be a real quick special for you. Turmeric, many of you, boy, just do a little Google search on turmeric and you're going to see a world of information at your fingertips. We're doing it as a real quick special in this show. Special purchase price, runaway customer pick and favorite, standardized and done in a way that no one else does, that Andrew Lessman difference we keep talking about. But remember, 5 flexible payments only until 12 midnight on all of those sizes. Andrew, I know this is a real quick special, so I'm going to defer to you once more. Turmeric done in a way that no one else is doing.
Well, it should be, you'd think we would do it differently, because I've been talking about turmeric for a little over 20 years. It's when we first introduced turmeric in any product that we make. And turmeric, as wonderful as it is as a spice, if you're going to be delivering turmeric specifically for its benefits in terms of soothing to our joints, in terms of detoxifying for our liver, supporting our brain, if you're going to be delivering turmeric for those reasons, you need to make sure the curcuminoids in turmeric can be absorbed. Unfortunately, when you just use turmeric spice, it only contains about 1% curcuminoids. But even if you use a great standardized extract that might have 95% curcuminoids like ours, if you don't do something else to that extract, to that 95% extract, most of it will pass through you unabsorbed. So what we do, and took a page out of the sort of the Indian cookbook and took a page really following the science, is what we do is we combine it with phospholipids. So we combine our turmeric, and when you combine your turmeric with lipids, when you complex it with fats, it becomes, in our case, 3,000% more beneficial, 3,000% more absorbable. There's another method that some companies use with black pepper spice. It's kind of the cheaper way to go, but it could be irritating to the gut, the black pepper spice, and also black pepper spice can affect the absorption of certain medications. So I thought the best way, the most efficient way, the safest way to go was by combining our turmeric with important phospholipids, and that enhanced its absorption, or enhances its absorption dramatically.
Well, and again, all with no additives of any kind. That beautiful color. In fact, it's even used in you know, dye in clothing in many parts of the world. But special purchase price, choose it in the 30, 60, 120, or 240. Read those reviews. No kidding. If you do a little just put, you know, turmeric in that little search engine. And Andrew, that's just it. There's a whole world of information. The whole world is really kind of waking up to the benefits of turmeric now, aren't they?
It's something that when I originally talked about it, it kind of fell on deaf ears. It wasn't even a spice that was frequently used here. Because of popular request, I've been working on a turmeric spice of our own that you'd use actually in cooking. A typical turmeric, as I said before, is 1% curcuminoids. We're trying to do something that would be about 20%. And because now I think curcumin is recognized as being a wonderful ingredient to use in cooking, and not just as a supplement. Of course, it's used in abundance in Asia, but I'm hoping that Muriel and I could convince Americans to adopt turmeric, because it's not a spice it soothes your stomach. It's not irritating to your stomach. So it's kind of something like paprika is sort of a mild pepper. Turmeric is a very mild spice with an earthy flavor, and it's wonderful to put on the outside when she's cooking things of, say, chicken. She even puts it on the outside of turkey now, and it just gives it a wonderful color and flavor and texture.
With a world of benefits, done as only Andrew Lessman can do. Hey, little programming note. Jared, we're about, what, 27 minutes away, give or take? About 27 minutes away. We'll get to see the full interview with Dr. Daniel Amen and Andrew. The book is amazing. The partnership package is amazing. It's already a customer pick, so we'll air that full interview in a little over 20 minutes time. In the meantime, it's a big deals weekend here at HSN. Andrew is a big deal. He is our biggest brand here at HSN. He's also our lowest return rate. This is one of only 2 shows that he's doing, and as part of Big Deals, Everything that you'll see on air or on hsn.com has 5 flexible payments, but that's only until 12 midnight. That's on all of the various sizes. Andrew, this is kind of fun because now I'm gonna kind of date myself. I remember when we used to do your ginkgo product, just your ginkgo product on the air. And let's be honest, I think this time in history has taught us, you know, we're doing more online. We have to remember passcodes and stress in our life. And I mean, there's more to remember. We've had to learn new skills. The fact that my mom is doing FaceTime, I mean, no one could have ever told me that Pat Smith would be doing something online. But this is that perfect partner for, you know, all those times and the world in which we live, isn't it?
Well, this last year, I think, has been a little bit of brain damage for everyone. I mean, it's just been a difficult time for all of us. And whether it's the stress, the anxiety, that's so many different attributes of what we're going through, whether it's financial stress, whether it's work stress, whether it's family stress, whether it's health stress, you name it, not being able to see our loved ones. It's just been an incredibly difficult time. And all of the worry, and you'll see when I talk to Daniel Amen in a few moments, that all of that worry, the negative thoughts, as he likes to call them, the dragons that come from our past that kind of breathe fire on our brain. It's something that this product is my most comprehensive brain support, cognitive support, memory support. You know, a lot of my friends the last year, they all think they're losing their minds, that they're worried that there's something serious going on with their brain. It's just our brain is challenged when our world is challenging. And so what this product is designed as, my ginkgo ginseng product on its own, one of our most popular products, both of those ingredients are here. My acetyl L-carnitine product, one of our most popular products, it's in here. We also have vinpocetine. We also have bacopa. We also have huperzine. It really is the most comprehensive product to deliver the support that we all need when it comes to our brain, when it comes to memory, cognitive function. None of us are getting any younger, and we are subjecting our brain to stress and challenges that were never conceived of by the original designer of that brain. It's a wonderful structure, but what we're living through is not something that doesn't come without consequence. So this product is as comprehensive as a memory and brain product can be. It doesn't have to come with any warnings of side effects or anything like that. It supports healthy circulation to the brain, which Daniel and I were talking about the other day, that one of the most consistent things that he sees and scans over and over and over is that all things being equal, those of us who can better perfuse our brains, have better circulation to our brains, say because we exercise and do other things that are supportive of healthy circulation, like he mentioned ginkgo, we were talking about it. Those of us have the healthier brains as we age. And ginkgo's a difficult ingredient to do correctly, and a lot of companies just don't give it the attention it deserves. We do. And we make sure we assay it carefully to make sure you're getting all the benefits. So I could go on and on I could speak for an hour about acetyl L-carnitine or ginkgo or our ginseng or vinpocetine or bacopa or huperzine, all of these ingredients and the remarkable benefits they have in terms of supporting the natural processes that our brains struggle with during these difficult times.
Absolutely. Gosh, I do wish we had more time, but we've got so much to do before we see that full interview with Dr. Amen and Andrew.
And this is also, by the way, I think this is basically today's special pricing, because this will not be a Today Special this year. So I think this is perhaps the best pricing we've perhaps ever had on this product.
Do you know what? I think, boy, I certainly don't ever remember seeing $60 off that 360 size. Definitely 5 flexible payments too, don't forget, as part of our Big Deals Weekend, and that is on any one of the sizes. Of course, you know, our biggest sizes are always the most popular, but remember that full interview, your brain is always listening, and hopefully you'll be watching and listening the full interview with Dr. Amen and Andrew in a few minutes. Now, here's another one. When we keep talking about Andrew being our #1 brand, certainly and easily one of his top products of all time. Boy, oh boy, if the 4,700 plus reviews on this, if that doesn't indicate, you know, how much people love it, there are actually over 6,000 reviews total. But of that, that's what that graphic indicates, 4,700 of those are perfect. And if you're not seeing results, you're not giving it a perfect 5-star rating. You are, however, getting, as part of our Big Deals Weekend, 5 flexible payments on any one of the sizes. You can choose it in the 60, the 120, the 240, or the 360. Big savings, 30-day return policy, free shipping. Boy, Andrew, I don't know of a host here, male or female, who doesn't take this. And, you know, it's interesting because we're all getting older. We were talking about that. I'm at a point in my life where my hair shouldn't be stronger and thicker and healthier. I'm at a point in my life where my skin shouldn't look better, and you're helping us from the inside out. That's why this is really our best beauty product at HSN.
Well, there can be a lot of wonderful beauty products on the outside of our body, whether it's treatment products for our hair or moisturizing products for our skin or cleansers. It's important that we take care of those tissues on the outside of our body. Why? Because they're fragile. The tissues on the outside of our body are dead. Our hair is dead, our nails are dead. The exterior layers of our skin are dead tissue layers. So we have to take good care of them because they're so fragile. But when is the only time we can actually change their structure? When is the only time that we actually can have a role, a positive role, instead of the negative role that our diet and lifestyle might have? But when is the only time we could possibly play a positive role? And that's on the inside of our body, where they are being manufactured. So it's almost so obvious as to be easy to escape our sort of reasoning that we think, oh, we see them on the outside of our body. That's our only chance to do something, so we do that. But we forget about the fact that we can make a profound, a dramatic difference in their structure. We can understand that when we think about certain medications we take can destroy our hair, skin, and nails. Or if we're not getting adequate nutrition, a healthy diet, we see the horrible negative difference it can make. There is a flip side to that coin. We can make a wonderfully positive difference if the established nutrients that are necessary for the growth of those tissues are provided, and provided in a comprehensive way. Most people think the be-all and end-all of a beauty product is biotin, and whether it works, doesn't work, if it doesn't work, they just figure that's it. But it isn't biotin. Biotin is the key, but biotin doesn't deliver its benefits on its own. Just like CoQ10 is the key to energy production, it doesn't do it on its own. And the best CoQ10 product will be more comprehensive, just like the best beauty product will be more comprehensive.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, I really hope you try this product. I mean, there are a lot of us, we were talking about self-care, a lot of us aren't going to the salon. And, you know, whether it was the gels or the acrylics or the extensions or the color, I mean, all the things that we do to try to make ourselves look better from the outside. You know, we do have great beauty products here at HSN, but you have to remember, this is going straight to the source. This is the cornerstone of better hair, better skin, better nails. And that is why there are over 6,000 reviews with nearly 5,000 of them being perfect. You're getting it not only at a special purchase price, but remember, any one of those sizes, to just jump in and do it now, and you should, because remember, that 5-pay flex pay is done at the stroke of midnight on any one of the sizes. I'll try to do a couple of quick reviews. Outstanding. I originally purchased a hair, skin, and nail product at the drugstore, but after 8 months of no improvement, I switched to Andrew's capsules. Wow, all caps. What a difference. Within 3 months, my nails were strong and growing longer every day. My hair has also changed a lot, as well as my skin. This product is on my must-have list permanently. That's from Mary. Try to get to another one here real quickly. Thicker eyelashes. Oh, this is a big one for me. I've been on this supplement for about 3 months now and was pleased with the smoother skin and improved texture of my hair. But my biggest surprise I noticed the other day is the volume volume of my eyelashes has improved dramatically. At 53, this is something I never would have anticipated. This is now a permanent part of my daily regimen. Thank you, Andrew. That's from MC in New York. Trying to do one more. I got my bounce back. Love this product. I've been using it for about 3 months. My hair was dull and lifeless. My hair is now shiny and has bounce and movement. I didn't tell my hairdresser that I was taking it, and the last 2 times I've gone to her, she's commented on how healthy my hair looks. Thank you, Mr. Lessman. That's from Nettie. And Andrew, that's just it. You know, your nail tech notices, your husband notices, your best friend notices, your hairdresser notices. These are differences that people are seeing, well, every single day they look in the mirror. And you've actually improved this formula, and it's amazing. I didn't think you could make it better, but it does consistently get better and better, doesn't it?
Oh, no, the potency just of biotin is 10 times higher than when I introduced it over 25 years ago. And in addition to that, our biotin is more bioavailable because you want to make sure it's going to be well absorbed. Also, the formula is more comprehensive than ever before, delivering methylsulfonomethane and a long list of other ingredients. So the product is more affordable today than when I introduced it 25 years ago, which is the case for a lot of products like my CoQ10 and several other products. So that despite the passage of time, we only continue to improve their potency, and we make sure they become even more affordable. And like all my products, ultrafine powder in a capsule, it will never upset your stomach. We don't make any rock-hard tablets that will upset your stomach or be hard to swallow. And everything we make is made entirely with solar energy. We have our facilities, our manufacturing facility has no carbon footprint. And unlike probably close to 90% of the supplements out on the internet or out in the marketplace, we make everything ourselves. Most supplements are made by contract manufacturers who have no direct connection to the consumer, except they're making the product for some marketing company, essentially.
They are indeed. So we went straight to the source, that being you, Andrew. Like you said, you're the manufacturer, and this goes right to the source of better hair, better skin, better nails, better eyelashes. Read those reviews. Again, time does not permit us to do more of them, but hopefully you can get it. Remember that 5 Flex Pay does expire at midnight on any one of those sizes. Oh, Andrew, this is so great. So we get to do kind of like a little reprise of the memory and brain, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get to give it much time, and we have a few minutes left before we, I guess this is appropriate, before we cut to the video with Daniel, my conversation the other day with Daniel, Dr. Daniel Lehman and me. So I just thought we'd show this again because the response was a bit overwhelming. We still have a few hundred units left. So, and again, it's a product that's really made for the times we're in. The times we're in, the level of worry, the challenges to our brain, as Daniel says in his book, our brain is always listening. My brain is not just always listening, it's always talking. And sometimes I just can't get it to keep quiet. But our brain is always listening, and this has been a time where there's just more chatter going on, more stress in the last year than anyone ever thought we'd endure. And really our memory and brain product is the perfect product for a time like that to give supportive nutrients, supportive ingredients. It's the most comprehensive formula I make for memory, for brain, for cognitive abilities. And so it's providing the perfect standardization of ginkgo and ginseng and vinpocetine and huperzine and bacopa. And it's like a separate acetyl L-carnitine product with 500 milligrams of acetyl L-carnitine. So there's nothing like it in my product line. I have a separate ginkgo and separate ginseng and separate acetyl L-carnitine, but you get everything here at an incredible, incredible savings all wrapped into one.
You do indeed. In fact, so let me just show those charts real quickly. Significant savings, to say the least. This has to be the best pricing I've ever seen on this product. 30, 60, 180, and 360. And remember, with no today's special on the forefront, this really is, for lack of a better term, like as if it were today's special pricing. Andrew, with your permission, if I could even read one review, they are so emotional. I hope you can read these reviews. But Here's one. I'll do it real quickly before we have to scoot along. A miracle product. Hello, I purchased this for my brother-in-law in August as the doctor said he had memory issues. I cannot believe the change in him. He's like a new person with his clarity and his thinking and his memory. I just purchased another bottle and will continue ordering. This is a miracle product. I've recommended this to many members of my family. God bless you, Andrew. Boy, I wish we had time to read more reviews. Boy, you can't put a price on how people appreciate this, right, Andrew?
Well, as Daniel will say, a healthy brain is a happy brain. I mean, if we want to be happy, we need to give some attention to our brain. We need to support the health of our brain. And this is a product that the acetyl L-carnitine supports energy production in our brain. The acetyl component of acetyl L-carnitine can be used to make acetylcholine, the principal communicating molecule, the principal neurotransmitter in our brain. The carnitine is how our brain can mobilize the fat that it could use for energy. Vinpocetine supports healthy circulation to and from our brain. We look at ginkgo. Ginkgo, it's unfortunate it's generally not delivered correctly in supplements at the proper standardization. But our ginkgo biloba, we are so cautious about standardization because if you pay attention to it, it can deliver incredible benefits. And Daniel and I were talking about just that the other day. So it's so comprehensive. And it's one of those products that I love, that everything at HSN comes with a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, because you either fall in love with this product or I encourage you to send it back. And I don't think you will. It's not a product we give much time to. I know we don't have much of it left, but it's really it's a great product for the times we find ourselves in, and its comprehensive nature allows you to have as many opportunities as possible to deliver benefits to supporting arguably, we say that the liver does the dirtiest work and it's the hardest working organ in the body, but the brain is the organ that kind of defines who we are and how we move through the world. So we really want to, if we want to show up as positively and happily as we can, we need to support our brain.
You bet we do, and I'm glad that we are able to give this just a little extra time while we have that quantity available and that special purchase price. It's a perfect lead-in to the full interview you'll see in a few moments. I'll actually be closing the hour just to remind you of a couple of things. I will try to do one more review though. Fog Lifter. I take many of Andrew's products and decided that I would try this as my memory and recall were receding quickly. I took these and felt the difference immediately. It's like the clouds lifted and the sun came out for the first time in a very long time. I have much greater focus and concentration, and I feel like a new person. I ordered the 60 capsules just to try them, but I went to the phone and ordered the large size, as I never want to be without them. And Andrew, you know, that's just it. We feel like, certainly this time in history, we want those clouds to lift. We want that fog to clear. And it's just so great that you're doing it at this. I do think this is the best price that I've seen you offer it at.
Yes, it is. And, you know, it's one thing to contend with clouds that are in our own world, but it's been doubly challenging because through no fault of our own, there are a lot of clouds in the outside world. And I think the only way we contend with those well is if we could sort of shine our own light. So the extent to which we keep our brain balanced and healthy and happy is the extent to which we can move through the world positively. So it's again, it's the most comprehensive product. It's kind of my fault that I don't spend enough time on this product on air. It's one of the most faithfully reordered products, but I should spend more time on it. Sometimes it takes things going on in the world like now to remind me of how important this product can be.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly encourage you to take advantage of it, especially at the best pricing that I've personally seen. That 5-pay flex pay does end at the stroke of midnight. I'm going to stick around with you. We're actually going to share that interview that you did with Dr. Daniel Amen, of course, one of your friends, and you partnered up.
One of my dear friends and one of the kindest, one of the kindest gentlemen. You know, he's intelligent, brilliant, but he's got a bigger heart than he has a brain, and he really just wants to help people And I think of all his wonderful books, this is the most helpful book that anyone could enjoy. And hopefully my supplements I give along with it make it too good a value to turn down.
It is absolutely true. So stick around. Andrew will enjoy that interview with you and Dr. Amen. I'll stick around and remind people of some of the goodies. Be well, my friend. Thank you for doing this with us tonight, but I can't wait to see that interview. Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, you're welcome, Shannon. Have a great night.
You too.
And best of health, everyone.
Here's the dynamic duo.
Hi there, Andrew Lessman here, and today I'm in a little bit different role. Usually I'm here with my supplements, but today I'm here with a special guest and with a very special book. The book is entitled Your Brain is Always Listening. Mine seems to always be listening, and it always seems to be talking to me too. I think you probably feel the same way. And my very special guest today is Dr. Daniel Amen, a dear friend who has done wonderful things for me and so many other folks that I know. And this is a book that, as much as I've read his other books and I've loved his other books, that this is a book that really provides incredible tools that I think more than at any time, certainly in my lifetime, these tools come in handy. So we have something very special for you today. It's not just the book. Normally the book would be $19, $20 or more, but today you get the book. You also get a 60 capsule supply of vitamin D 2000 IU. You also get a 30 count supply of our acetyl L-carnitine, and an important nutrient for your brain. So you get all of that. Normally the vitamins alone would be about $30. They're for free with the book, just a special bonus with the book. So before I continue rambling on any further, I just wanted to introduce my friend, Daniel Amen. And Daniel, if you can, give everybody a little sense of your background, what you've been doing all these years, and what drives you to do what you do.
Well, thank you, Andrew. So excited to be with you. I'm a psychiatrist by training, but about 30 years ago, I started looking at the brain. And so at Amen Clinics, I have 9 clinics around the country. We have the world's largest database of brain scans related to behavior. We've done about 175,000 scans on patients from 150 countries. And we see little kids and old people and everybody in between, and we've been optimizing people's brains, and then they have better lives. But what I realized is once you get the brain healthy, you then have to program it. And too many people have what I talk about in Your Brain is Always Listening, the dragons that are still breathing fire on their emotional brain. And think of the dragons, sort of the big psychological issues. And in the book, I talk about their origin story, where they come from, what triggers them, how they cause us to react, and how to tame them. And it's a lot of fun.
Right. And what you started off talking about, the brain scans, that most people don't realize that folks who are treating a brain or treating, say, psychological issues or behavioral issues, emotional issues, they generally don't look at the brain. It's, as I said earlier, I was having trouble with my Achilles tendons. They do an ultrasound and they do an MRI of my Achilles tendons, so they know exactly what they're looking at. But most folks don't look at the brain. So when you started doing this, it was different. And the reaction you got from other physicians, from regulatory bodies, was not necessarily welcoming. And you talk about that in terms of some of the dragons, which we all possess, these dragons which sort of talk to us, and not always in a positive way. So we want to tame our dragons, and about all these dragons in the book, you give a personal example of each, and that was one that you gave, was when you had this insight about how to treat folks better, and the response you got was not, except from your patients, your response was not positive.
Yeah. The wounded dragon. Yes. That was really hard for me. And whenever, as a physician, you try to do something new and different, it's generally not greeted with enthusiasm.
That's the standard of care.
And that was very hurtful. But by taming the dragon and doing what I knew was right, it's made a difference in the lives of lots of people.
No, that's wonderful. And the list of dragons, you even have sort of surrogate dragons like our parents or our siblings, that it's not just our own dragons that we inherit, but the dragons that others might sort of imbue in us that we have to contend with.
So the book is divided into 6 parts. So the first part is the dragons from the past that still breathe fire. Like my primary dragon is the abandoned, invisible, or insignificant one. I'm one of 7 children. I'm a middle child. I have 5 sisters. Nobody saw me. And so I built a life taming that dragon with significance. But there's also the anxious dragon, so common, the death dragon with the pandemics, just breathing fire now on children. So that's the first part. The second is the they, them, and other dragons. It's how we're always listening to other people, alive and dead. I still hear my grandfather's voice in a really positive way. There's the scheming dragons, which is really the influence of society. Things like the news or the toxic food pushers on us. There's the addicted dragons and the bad habit dragons. There's actually a brand new 12-step program in the book, but the original 12-step program was written 85 years ago, and there's no neuroscience in it. So I just reimagined it from a neuroscientist's perspective, and I think it's so helpful. And then there's a section on the dragon tamer. You know, how do you get the dragons under control? And you do it by taking care of the front part of your brain. Think of it like the brain's brake: forethought, judgment, impulse, control. So better brain, let's program it to help you rather than hurt you. And I love what you and I said earlier, what you said earlier, is you're always writing your story. Right. And in the book, there's an exercise on how to write your story, and you write your story with a happy ending.
Right.
So many people are writing it with fear and unhappiness, and it drives them to be miserable.
Right. You even said something the other day that stuck with me, that I didn't know anyone had really looked at this, but I know if I look at the news in the morning, and I won't watch the news on TV, but if I look at the news in the morning, it kind of stays with me. But you said that there was actually a study, and that folks who look at the news in the morning are less happy in the afternoon than folks who don't.
27% less happy just by the newsmonger dragon. And you know, it's our habits day in and day out. They help us feel better. They help us get along better with other people, or they hurt us. And it takes just as much energy to have a good habit as a bad habit. And there's this wonderful section in the book on bad habit dragons. And the worst bad habit dragon is the oblivious bad habit dragon, where people don't know what they're putting in their body or on their skin. We need to be more thoughtful, and that is actually a sign of love. And when it comes to food, I love this thing I talk about in the book, is do you love food that loves you back? That you're in a relationship, and too many people go, oh, but I love Rocky Road ice cream. Yeah, but it's beating up your immune system. Right. Is that really a healthy relationship?
No, I always like the word rather than, you know, we're nourishing ourselves. And when you eat certain foods, are you truly nourishing yourself or not? And then one of my favorite parts of the book is, and I've always loved this, the concept of ants. And I like the concept of ants because every once in a while at my home we have ants and they're annoying. But ants, automatic negative thoughts that I was even talking about today, like, why is it that we all tend to have these automatic negative thoughts? Why can't we just have automatic positive thoughts? But it's not something, you were saying, it's not something we're conditioned to. It's not something that we learn unless we specifically...
Well, and I think as a species, humans survived because of our anxiety. Because when we woke up, we knew something was going to eat us. And right. So the brain has this negative bent. And there's nowhere in school where we teach people how to shift that in a way that's helpful. And I was 28 years old. I was a psychiatric resident. And it's the first time I realized I didn't have to believe every stupid thing I thought. And it's such a powerful. And then one day I had a really hard day at work. I had 4 suicidal patients. I had 2 teenagers who'd run away from home, 2 couples who hated each other. And I was worn out when I got home to an ant infestation in my house. They were everywhere. And as I was cleaning them up, I'm thinking to myself, ant, automatic negative thoughts. My patients are infested. And so I brought a can of Raid to my office the next day and put it on my coffee table. And ultimately, it turned into an anteater. And the ants feed the dragons. And you don't have to believe everything you think. There's an exercise in the book. Challenge 100 of your worst thoughts, it'll change your life. And so I want people to actually write down 100 of their worst thoughts, and then I give them a mechanism to change them, to get rid of them, because when you challenge them, they dissipate. And I have this great example of this man who is the son of the Mexican mafia leader in Los Angeles, terribly traumatized, came to see me after he was suicidal. But he just did everything I asked him to do. And with 6 months later, he's dramatically better because he doesn't believe everything he thinks.
But I think we're trained as children, if a thought pops up in our head, we need to believe it. And then I think once we start habitually having those thoughts, it's kind of like a record that gets stuck in a groove, and it's hard to avoid them. You had mentioned a skill that we had talked about more than a decade ago from Byron Katie, that when you have these negative thoughts, an exercise to go through to challenge them, rather than just letting them play and sort of own you, but actually maybe taking possession of them and challenging those thoughts. And I think that's what I love about the book. I love all your books, but more than any other book, this seems to give so many tools that are practical, especially with the challenging times we're in, where those dragons, where those automatic negative thoughts just seem to be pervasive, that they're constantly being triggered. I think it's an incredibly timely book, and Byron Katie's exercise is a really useful tool that people can employ.
It's so helpful. Whenever you feel sad, mad, nervous, or out of control, write down what you're thinking. And then there's 5 simple questions. Is it true? I mean, that cracks the thought. Is it absolutely true? Can I really know that with 100% certainty? How do I feel with the thought? It's usually terrible. How would I feel if I didn't have the thought? Free. And then take the original thought that's bothering you, turn it to the opposite, and ask yourself if the opposite isn't true, which is so interesting. It's, I believe this thing that's so awful and terrible, but the opposite may in fact be true. And with the pandemic, depression has tripled, and self-harm among teenagers has gone up 400%. And it's really exposing, we are vulnerable to these mental health things because we are mentally undisciplined. And like you have to, if you want to be healthy, you have to eat right and work out over and over and over again. If you want to be mentally healthy, you have to do these exercises. They just need to be part of your life. Like I walk every day for 45 minutes like I'm late. I need to be doing that same process with my mind.
And I think most of us, and that's such a great point, most of us are not disciplined with our brain. Our brain just kind of listens to everything, it's repeating everything, and not necessarily in a happy, friendly voice that we can have control or dominion over our own brain. I guess it just takes an effort. But more than anything, I always say this, that it requires tools, and most of us aren't being informed of the tools we can have at our disposal to be healthier, to have a healthier brain, to manage our brain better. And I should probably do what I normally don't have to do, is play like I'm the host, and which I guess I am. So the book is Your Brain is Always Listening. It's from Dr. Daniel Amen. With the book, because I want to make it sort of too good to say no to, you're getting a bottle of vitamin D 2000 IU and a bottle of acetyl L-carnitine. So you're getting 500 milligrams per capsule. So you're getting both of those. Those 2 supplements are about a $30 value, and the book itself is basically free, or the book is $19.90 and the supplements are free. So I hope you take advantage of it. I've read probably 75% of your books, I'd say at least. And this, more than any other I've found, had a personal appeal to me, because every time you're discussing these dragons, some of them are quite personal, could be quite embarrassing. You give a very personal example of how that dragon exhibits itself in your life and what you've done to tame that dragon in your life. And so it really provides tools that I think everyone will be able to enjoy. And whether it's loving kindness meditation, whether it's Byron Katie's exercise, which I think is so wonderful to be able to just stop the negative thoughts in their tracks. And even if you don't necessarily, if the exercise doesn't convince you, at least it stops the cycle. So I just hope that folks will take advantage of this offer, because I think our mental health, our brain's health is our happiness.
No question about that, right? And I think of it sort of like hardware and software. You have to optimize the physical functioning of the brain, and that's why I'm a huge fan of nutritional supplements. But then once you optimize how your brain's functioning, you then have to program it, right? So we think of this as this software. And there's an exercise I just dearly love in the book, so helpful for me during the pandemic, called positivity bias training. One of the dragons is the hopeless and helpless dragon that's driving depression. And so I wake up every morning and I'm disciplined. Today is going to be a great day.
I love that.
Today is going to be a great day.
I did that this morning, yes.
And then my unconscious mind finds why it's going to be a great day. I get to hang out with you in this beautiful place.
Right.
And when I go to bed at night, what went well today? And that can be so helpful even during hard days, because we all have things that went well, even looking for the micro moments, the smallest thing that went well, whether it's I hold my wife's hand or give one of my kids a hug. If I focus on what's right, I feel right. And if I focus on what's wrong, I feel wrong.
Right. No, it's funny. My grandma, one of the most telling things that I still remember every day is say, every morning when you wake up, you basically, the healthiest emotion you could have is gratitude for being here. That's how you start your day. And every day when you lay down in bed, that's the healthiest emotion to have, that you have the gratitude to be able to lay down in bed again, that you're still here. So as they say, where there's life, there's hope. And I hope that everyone realizes that this is an opportunity. I mean, it's my nonprofit that is doing this for me, and it's an opportunity for everyone to get a book that can make a meaningful difference in their life, a tremendous difference, I think, in the lives of people they love. And it's simple things like you were just saying about when you start your day, that you tell yourself it's going to be a great day, not start your day as most of us do with dread. And I think positive thoughts, that's the only way to have a positive day, is really to start with positive thoughts. And was there a part of the book that you find really, I know the dragons and are great imagery and really true, because they breathe fire on us once they get going, and the automatic negative thoughts. Is there a part of the book that you found really resonates with your patients and those folks who've read the book?
So the dragons from the past, they completely resonate with people. And in the book, I tell them where they can take a quiz to know what their dragons are. And on average, people have 6 of the 13. And so we all have
I had all
issues.
13. Some are more tame than others.
We all have issues. But the grief and loss dragon, because of the pandemic, teenagers not being able to go to graduation, or not being able to play their sports, or the older people not being able to be around their family, that learning to tame it, and you can tame grief and loss, you just have to be very purposeful about it. And one of the things I talk about in the book with grief and loss is fix sleep first. Fix sleep first, because when you do that, your brain sort of washes itself at night and it can manage the stress of the day. And for the anxious dragon, that's the most common of all the dragons.
Right.
I have this very specific breathing pattern that has been found to trigger a relaxation response. It is so simple. 3 seconds in, take a big breath, hold it for a second, 6 seconds out.
Double the time out.
So taking twice as long to breathe out as you breathe in actually triggers a relax. And like 2 minutes, twice a day. You don't need to take medication for your anxiety that this sort of breathing meditation can be so helpful.
And I've even found that kind of breathing is wonderful when people are struggling to relax before they go to sleep, which can disrupt sleep. So but that's what I was saying initially about the book, that more than any other, I found there were just so many useful tools that if even just one or two of them, because you get the free vitamin D and the acetyl L-carnitine, the book is just a wonderful opportunity to heal, and that our brain really drives who we are. And unfortunately, we let it go on autopilot. And I think if we really want to be happy and if we really want to be healthy, there's a whole range of wonderful tools that allow us to have a great relationship with those dragons. They could be there, but they'll be tamed. And those automatic negative thoughts can be calmed as well.
You know, one of the most interesting dragons that I loved writing about and learning about is the Ancestral Dragon, where the issues you have aren't yours, that they actually belong to your parents or your grandparents or your great-grandparents, that what we're learning with this new branch of medicine called epigenetics, that what happens to us actually gets written into our genetic code that we pass on to our children and grandchildren. So when my wife's grandmother grew up in what is now Lebanon during World War I and the Great Famine, that it actually had written in her code deprivation. And so my wife, when the pandemic started, I tell this story in the book, she had a pandemic room because her genes had actually prepared her for 3 generations. And so knowing your family history in as much detail as you can really helps you understand what issues you might have.
And plus, I think if we just go back a few generations, the planet has not been a terribly hospitable place, so most of us can find in our genetic lineage, a history of challenges or deprivation of things. So again, it's yet another reason for us to acknowledge that the dragons exist, to befriend them, quiet them, and in so doing, quiet the negative thoughts that trigger them. And I think that's the key to our having a happier life. I think. And I think what was one of the prior books you'd written, that I don't think it's possible to have a happy life if you don't have a healthy brain. And I think it's not possible to have a healthy brain if you can't manage how your brain is thinking and working. And because as the book says, it's always listening, it's always talking. So I think it's a critically important thing. I think we're probably through our time here, but I thank you so much, Daniel, for being here. You've been invaluable to me in my life, and I know your books have been invaluable to millions of others. So hopefully this is brand new. Your Brain is Always Listening. It's by Dr. Daniel Amen. The supplements are worth the investment. The book is far more valuable than the supplements are. So I hope you get it. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to hearing more. Thanks. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, my friend.
Sure.
How fun was that? I know I'm getting mine. Are you getting yours? You should. Still, that 30-day return policy, it's just obviously, like Andrew said, that information is really critical and key. But then you get the benefit of the benefit with the addition of his supplements of the N-acetyl carnitine and then your vitamin D as well. Remember, as part of our Big Deals weekend, 5 flex pays on that. Unbelievable. Priceless information, and can't put a price on your good health. Less than $20 for the package. Remember, that was your only opportunity to get it. All of those flex pays do expire at the stroke of midnight. So hopefully you can grab yours. Keep shopping for Andrew Lessman. But you know what? I'm going to help you do a little spring cleaning. Coming up next, our today's special.
What really separates a house from a home? A home should provide comfort, coziness, and convenience. Join me on Monday nights where I'll be giving you great ideas for your home, your kitchen, and your life.
Get the best deals on the things you love with the Hsn Card. As an Hsn Card VIP, you'll get all kinds of perks, like 12-month VIP financing on select items, plus extra flex on beauty, jewelry, shoe, and fashion purchases all day, every day. And at least 8 VIP savings events a year. Includes fraud protection, and there's no annual fee. Apply now and instantly get $10 off when you're approved. Call 1-800-695-1418 or visit hsn.com/HSN Card. It's time to prepare your home indoors and out. So whether you're doing some early spring cleaning, trying out new recipes, or staying entertained at home, find just what you need during our spring home and cleaning event on HSN and hsn.com.
Food has always been my passion, but the truth is, even in the world's best kitchens, the tools can really make or break a chef. That's why I've developed this incredible, innovative line for HSN. It makes the prep easy, and it also makes the cooking a whole lot of fun. From my kitchens to your tables. Let's turn the everyday into gourmet.
HSN and QVC, in honor of Women's History Month, we're shining a light on some of the women-owned small businesses that are at the heart and home of our communities. Hear their unique stories of inspiration and innovation, and discover exciting products you'll love to shop. To learn more about these women-owned businesses, visit hsn.com and qvc.com.